Okay, so welcome to another lesson. Now, in this lesson, we are just going to do questions in compass bearings. Okay, questions in compass bearings. So let's begin with the following questions. Compass bearing questions. Question number one: describe the position of a 280 degrees from the origin. From the origin. So we are describing. So when they say describe, it means that you are not just going to name, but you need to describe how you are going to name the position A. Write down the compass bearings of A, B, C, and D. So this is a diagram, so you need to write down these points which are given there. And now, look at this one, describing. Let's start with the number one. So let me write solutions here. Solutions, so work it out from here. So question number one. Question number one, if you can see, it doesn't have anything like this compass here. But we know that it's a compass bearing question, and we need to describe the position with this one. So how do we describe? We need to write the compass. Come up with the compass. We know that here we are talking of the position A, 280 degrees. That is what we are talking about. So now we need to come up with the compass. Let's draw the compass. So we're going to draw the compass like this. This is our compass. Okay. Our compass is like that. Okay, then we can name it. Name it. And we put the arrows there. And this, you name it. We have our north there. We have our east there. We have our south. We have our west. We have named it. That's our compass. Now, they are telling us that we should find this point. When they say describe, they are simply telling us that tell us where this 280 degrees will be at. So we are going to name it at the end of the time. So now let's see. We know that each direction, north and east, what divides in between is 90 degrees. So now we need to find 280. And we know that the whole of this, the circle makes up to 360 degrees. So we are simply talking of this direction which is here, it is 90 degrees. And this direction which is here, it is also 90 degrees. And this direction which is here, it is also 90 degrees. So now we are saying when we add 90 plus 90 plus 90, what do we get? Are we getting 280? Obviously not. So let's see. So let's pretend that this is my X, and this is my Y, and this is my Z. So how do I get the 280 degrees? So we are going to say, how do I get my 280 degrees? We are going to say now, let's do it just here. We are going to say X which is 90 degrees plus Y plus Z. Okay, X plus Y plus Z. We need to know this part. Once we know it, then is equal to what? Question mark. So we are saying 90 degrees plus 90 degrees plus 90 degrees is equal to, what is 90 plus 90? 180. 180 plus 90, that is 270. So it is 270 degrees. So we know that from the distance from here to there, it is giving us 270 degrees. Now, what is the distance that we need to add in order for us to find 280? What is the distance? That is the 10 more degrees. When we add 10 more degrees, we have 280. So now meaning that when I add another 10 more degrees, let me just say, if I add 10 degrees from here, this one, if I add 10 more degrees, which is this will be 10 degrees, it will give me, from here to there, it will be 280 degrees. So I'm describing this. I'm describing here. I haven't yet naming. I'm describing. So I know that from here to there to there to there, it will be 280 degrees. In other words, you can simply say, if you want to find the original answer, you can simply say 280 degrees minus 270 degrees. What is my answer? My answer will be 10 degrees. That's how I found this 10 degrees. So I just need to add 10 from 270 to 270, and I will be able to get 280 degrees. So how do I get now to name this position? So now I need to name it. So how do I name it? I'm going to say, how do I name this position? Okay, so we are going to say D, since I already found this angle which is here, and we know that this point which is here, it is my A. That is my A. So for me to name A, I need to come from north going to south. So they said from origin. So origin is this line. This is my origin. So it will be this line, the north line. So it will mean that I'm simply talking of this direction, which simply means from O, origin simply, okay, let's say origin is O. So O, from O to A. So it's more like I'm coming from O, going all the way to A. A from O, or you can say A from O. Meaning I'm coming from O, going to A. That is what it means. So we are going to write our compass just here. Let's write it here. Where should I write it, there or there? Okay, so let us write it here. Since I've already described it there, then I can name it by simply saying the direction of A is going to be, what will be the direction of A? Now, I don't know this part which is there. So it will be north x degrees west. So it means that I need to find the x degrees. Now keep in mind that this one, in other way, you can name this one to be a bearing of A from what? From O. Because I'm coming from origin, I'm going to A. So it will be a bearing of A from O. That's how you can name it in other ways. So now let's see how we can find the x. How do I get to find the x? So for me to find the x value, all I need to do now is to subtract. If I want to find the x, I know that the whole of this is 90 degrees. The whole of this is 90 degrees, but I already have 10 degrees there. So it means that I need to subtract 90 degrees minus 10. What do I have? I have 80 degrees. So it means that for me, the x value to be x is equal to 90 degrees minus 10 degrees, which will be 80 degrees. So that will be the x value there. Then I just replace it, means that I found my answer. So meaning that it will be A, okay, n 80 degrees west. Then I have fully answered the question with the proper description here. I've described it and I've found the answer as straightforward as that one. Once you do this part, then it means that you are okay, good to go. You have answered the question, you have gotten your free marks there. So you have to know that when they say 280 degrees, all I need to do is to know where 280 degrees will reach. And when it reaches here, then I subtract from 280 degrees what is the angle in between that is remaining. It means that it is 10. So look at this, this is 90. So it will be 90 minus 10, I have 80 degrees. That is my angle. 80 what? Degrees. Or if you want, you can say, I know that this, from here to there, it is giving me 360 degrees. Now, it's more like it's a circle. I'm coming up with a circle. You see, this is a circle from here. Now, this angle which is here, you can simply say, what is 360 minus 280? You are going to find this angle which is 80 degrees there. It means that you are okay. Okay, you are good to go. Okay? 360 minus 280, we need this angle, which will be 80 degrees. Then you are good to go. Now, let us come to this question. Question 2. Write down the compass bearing of A, B, C, D. So, these are compass bearings. Of course, we looked at this in the previous video where we were naming all these compass bearings. So, my only interesting part is I want to see if you remember on how to name B and D. B and D, the rest of them, they are easy and straightforward. So let us do question number 2. Let's see how we can answer question number 2. Question number 2, we are going to start with, let's start with B. Let's start with B because that is my area of interest. B, how do we name B? We name B by simply starting from south going to east. Remember directions always, you name it either north or south. You don't say east. So they are talking of this bearing here. We need to find this bearing here, which means the southeast to southeast, which means is from the origin. We can say B from O, meaning you are coming from the origin going all the way to B. So this is the direction they want, and this, let's say this is my x degrees. So I need to find my x degrees. So how do I find my x degrees in this scenario? I'm going to say x, we know that the whole of this angle adds up to 90 degrees, isn't it? So we're going to say 90 degrees minus 35 degrees. What is my answer? Let's abbreviate it here, 90. That will give me 15, isn't it? So we have 5 there, then we have 8 there. Okay, so it means that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we have 65. 6, 7, 8. Okay, 55, not 65. That is supposed to be 55. So 90 minus 35, we have 55 degrees. So this degree which is here, it is 55. So you can therefore now come and name the position and say B, it is simply south of 55 degrees east. And you are done. You have worked out this and you have found your answer there. Now let us come to another one, which is D. That is what I'm also interested in. D. This D which is here. Now remember D, they are simply talking of D from O. So I'm coming from the origin. So I'm going all the way to D from the origin. This is what they are talking about. Now we want to find this direction there. That is what we are interested in. They have given us 75. So we are going now to say y is equal to 90 minus 75. What is 90 here minus 75? That is 15 degrees. So meaning that D, it will be 15 degrees, it will be north, 15 degrees of what? To west. And I'm done with this part. Okay, I've named it. So this was my area of concern. I just wanted to see if you still remember on how to name these positions. But the rest of the position is straightforward. Let's say A, you don't have to do anything on A, just name it here because you already reached A is going like this, which means it will be north 55 degrees, what? East. Okay, then we come to C. C, it will also be straightforward. It will be 60 south, 85 degrees of what? Of west. And you are done. So, my beloved ones, this is how you work out these questions. And if you do it like this, then it means you have no problem. Whatever question, whatever they will ask in your exam, you should be able to answer this without fail. So, we have described the position A, 280 from the origin, meaning from the origin, which is A from O, or these bearings which are here, you can simply name them as, this bearing we found it as D from what? D from O, which is the origin, and this one is A from the origin. I'm also coming from the origin. This is C from the what? Origin, and this one is B from the origin. O simply stands for origin. So these are bearings. The way I'm writing this, how you are going to write in 3-figure bearing, which will be of course the next lesson video. We will be looking at B from O. How do I find B from O? B from O. Where is B? B is here from O. It means that I'll come from the south direction all the way to there. That is B from O. Origin part. Just like that. So we are going to look at this part when we start doing the true bearing, which is the 3-figure bearing as well. And hence this marks the end of compass bearing. Hopefully I've made this sensible to you and you have enjoyed it. Copy this in your notebook so that next time you don't have any problems when a question comes in your exam. You should be able to answer. For now, we say God bless and see you in the next lesson video. Don't miss and make sure you like, comment and subscribe if you are not. God bless and see you later.